So this presentation is positioned as an introduction to healthy lifestyle, sort of sharing the concept of what are all the components of a healthy lifestyle and some key points, what's important to keep in mind thinking about it. I mean, really to step back and kind of reflect on why we're doing what we're doing. It is a very difficult situation today on the market where 73% of US adults are overweight. Only 27% are in a healthy range in terms of their weight. So hence, it is a topic that concerns most of the population. And what's also important is that people may not realize that 50% of all hospitalizations today are due to obesity. So essentially, it's not just a nice to have, it is a must have for everyone to reduce the risk of many different diseases that are caused these days by obesity. And here is just a high level list of those diseases that are caused by obesity. Conceptually, we're putting four elements into the healthy lifestyle. It's a mindset, having a positive thinking and learning mindset that allows you to reflect on your actions, establish new habits, and stay consistent with those habits. It obviously covers nutrition as having a balanced diet that gives the needed macronutrients to fuel the body for proper both mental and physical activity, and both need to be kept in mind here. And then the fitness part, regular exercise, increasing strength, mobility, rejuvenating the body, and we'll talk about this later today. And then optimal sleep, aligned with circadian rhythm and allowing your body and brain to restore its function. So weight loss is actually starting in your brain. It is how people control their actions. That's what determines their success in weight loss. And hence, we separately talk about mindset and share best practices. How can you control your thoughts and control your actions? And on this slide, we're essentially introducing a concept where you can segregate the thoughts in your head into kind of thoughts that some of them maybe are caused by senses like hunger, cravings. And then thoughts about thoughts is your own ability to control what are you thinking about, and that way evaluating those thoughts and being more in control of your actions than just instinctively running to the fridge and grabbing something to eat. And so the moment you adopt this concept on segregating thoughts in your head, it immediately becomes much easier to control your action, establish new habits, establish new daily routines. And so a portion of the healthy lifestyle course will cover mindset aspects, everything that you need to know to reflect and understand where are you today, being clear on what is your goal, and then having a path to get to your goal, monitor your progress, and reinforce your actions. From the nutrition perspective, one of the most important parts is controlling the calories and properly calculating them. This is a very approximate conceptual representation of calories broken down into basal metabolism, roughly around 2000 calories, a little bit less than that. And then on the days when you exercise, you might be burning up to 1,000 calories or even more. And so on those days, again, you would have a total daily energy expenditure in calories of about 3,000. And that's the starting point of thinking about calories. Now, from the program perspective, we're breaking it down into three stages: cleanse, fat loss, and body recomposition. And it's very important because depending on what stage you are at, you align both your nutrition and physical exercise to that goal that you're pursuing. You cannot really grow muscle at the same time while you are doing fat loss. You can do it to some degree, but not as much as you can do it in a body recomposition phase when you are consuming all the needed calories, not restricting. That allows really to grow the muscles. So fat loss has a different objective and cleanse has a different objective. So the goal of the cleanse is to lose weight from water retention. So something that you can easily drop. And as practice shows, people drop 10 to 20 pounds just within a couple of weeks on this low carb, low calorie diet, low water intake, but it's limited only to 16 days, and it works. So having achieved these results in the cleanse, something that can be easily achieved, you already get motivated towards continuing on the fat loss journey. You see that it works. And here, the goal is to reach the ideal body weight. Again, the concept here is that you work on reaching your ideal body weight. You are in a fat loss for a certain period of time until you get there. And when you get there, at that point, you switch to body recomposition. You maintain your body fat percentage that you have set as a goal. I mean, for men, typically it is 10%, and for women, maybe 15% or close to that. And then you are in body recomposition where you are eating the calories that your body consumes on a daily basis. You maintain your body fat percentage, but then this allows you to grow your strength and grow the lean muscle. And so accordingly, for each of these stages, the calories are set. And within the cleanse, again, for a very limited period of time, you are at a relatively high calorie deficit. You are exercising during this time. You may be feeling that it's a little bit draining, but you're kind of kickstarting metabolism with this, and you are really, how to say, switching your body into ketosis, and that is leveraged later in a fat loss phase. In the fat loss, you typically would have about 1,000 calories deficit per day on those days when you are exercising, and typically it's 3 to maybe 5 days a week, and then maybe 1 or 2 days without exercise to restore the body functioning. And then during body recomposition, accordingly, you would be getting maybe 2,500 to 3,000 calories daily, exactly as much as you consume and as much as kind of energy you spend through basal metabolism and through exercise. Another very important concept here is that you cannot really track your calories and macros if you're eating something and then trying to track it in an app like MyFitnessPal or similar by logging in what foods you've eaten and the weight of those foods and then calculating calories and intake. I mean, there is variety of reasons, and maybe many of you have had that practically practical experience that it's not really a kind of doable task. I mean, many meals are relatively complex. They have multiple components in them, and it's impossible to decompose saying I'm eating this plate and how much of different components does this meal have. You can plan it only at the point of cooking. At that time, you know what components are going in, and then you need whatever you have cooked, you need to apportion it into portions, and then you know how many calories, how many macros each portion, each meal has. Uh, and that's what we are really recommending. Uh, so from managing the healthy lifestyle perspective, there needs to be a meal plan that exactly prescribes the meals. They don't need to change. There obviously is certain variety in what you eat on a daily basis and during the week. But you have that planned out. And when you have that planned out, then you do meal prep. Meal preparation is where you prepare food, you know exactly what goes into each meal, and you plan for portions. I mean, you can break your cooked food into portions up front and store it in the fridge or a cooler container, or you can keep it in a bigger containers and apportion it using weight at the time when you serve those meals. Um, and so this becomes like a logistical chain. The ultimate point is the eating, but before that there is a meal plan. Before meal plan there is a meal prep. And then the beauty here is that when you know what you are planning to eat, you can also plan what you are going to shop for. And it becomes eventually, when you establish this procedure, it becomes very simple. You know sort of what you are going to eat and what you need to shop, and you know when and how much you need to prep. It just requires certain amount of organization. But that's a system that all athletes are using, bodybuilders, and that's really the only way to manage calories and macros. And so having this three phases, what we see is that people are able to reliably manage their weight loss. In the cleanse stage, we see people dropping something between 5 to 20 pounds, and mostly it is fat because it's too short time to lose muscle in this time frame. And then during fat loss, we see people, again, depending on how overweight they easily are losing additional 10 to 50 pounds until they reach their ideal body weight. And then from there, in body recomposition, they may be increasing their weight, and typically it would be 3 to 5 pounds for men and maybe 2 to 3 pounds per year for women. This is how you grow your lean muscle and secure your health. The next part that's very important in this healthy lifestyle concept is what type of exercise you do. And sometimes people just do cardio and use it as a method to burn calories, and it is certainly a method, but it is very important to actually do the right cardio, because if you do high intensity exercises, for example, or when you bring your heart rate above 150 um, beats, you switch the dynamics of your exercise into more um, sort of away from muscle growth, more for endurance training. And that type of exercise is not growing muscle, is instead creating stress in the body. And stress, when the body is stressed, it is not as easily releasing weight or dropping weight. So hence, on cardio, we recommend typically elliptical or similar exercise with a heart rate of 110 to 130 range for a certain amount of time in total, maybe about 30 minutes per day on the days that you are exercising. So that's one part of burning calories during weight loss. The other very important part in the healthy lifestyle is the strength training, which, as we all know, the goal of strength training is to grow your lean muscle. Now, what does it mean, growing lean muscle? Ultimately, it means that you are doing hypertrophy when you are growing your muscle cells. And growing cells is part of the metabolic process of digesting food, bringing nutrients into the bloodstream, and then letting your muscle cell consume those nutrients, absorb them, and build new cells as well as grow existing cells within the muscle. Now, with strength training, you are provoking that process to happen. You are initiating the process of growing your muscle cells, and you are increasing your metabolism as a exchange of nutrients and building cells. Now, as part of it, what happens is that during night, while your body is building those cells, it is consuming energy. And so this way, your strength training, not only that you spend certain calories in the gym, but you will be consuming and burning additional calories at night when those cells are building, and obviously during the day as well. And so the strength training does serve as a second way to burn additional calories during weight loss. But what's even more important is that this whole process of growing cells, building cells, metabolism, is then spreading to the whole body, to all other organs within the body, and it rejuvenates the whole body. And we have seen amazing changes with people's health. I mean, starting from dental health, like gums are better. Kind of hairstylists may tell you that your hair is growing faster. You will see some improvements with the skin. And if you follow a proper nutrition guidance, then you may also get rid of certain irritations in the body and that we are kind of used to, but many of those can be avoided with proper food selection. And then the next very important component is sleep and sleep management. Conceptually, when people refer to sleep, they typically talk about the time in bed. But that time in bed is not really sleep as such, because being in bed, you can be asleep, but you can be awake. And so you really need to measure the time that you are asleep. And within that time that you are asleep, you need to measure the amount of time you spend in a deep sleep, as well as the time you dream, which is a REM sleep. These are two different important phases of sleep, and this course explains each of them in details. And within the healthy lifestyle, what we're focusing on is understanding what routines you should establish as part of going to bed, as well as waking up, so that you uh, prepare your body for a proper sleep. And then when you are waking up, you do it also in the right way, that you are quickly getting awake and your brain functions at its best capacity. Now, all of this is really allowing people to change their health, and one of the best way of explaining it is by talking about the health span. So while people uh, these days live, let's say, till about 80 years old and longer with modern medicine, this healthy lifestyle allows people to extend their lifespan. And this graph is taken from a very insightful book written by Daniel Lieberman, very highly respected professor, and he has been speaking publicly on several podcasts. We highly recommend to watch those. So statistically, you can extend your lifespan, but what's even more important is that the time frame when you're between 50 and, let's say, 75 years old, with a healthy lifestyle, you can feel healthy each and every day. And instead of, if you are not exercising enough, if you're not doing the right things, you may not feel as great. And that's, I think, worth fighting for. Obviously, if you're younger than 50, the amount of energy that you get with healthy lifestyle is much, much higher than without following these best practices. Now, this was the last slide, and we covered the overview of a healthy lifestyle concept.